this episode of Corona Bloody Virus Extraordinary Episodes. I'm not sure when I'm going to pack that in. I suppose it depends when we all finally get exactly back to normal. Will that ever happen? The guest, anyway, is Tasha Grant from Flavour Like Fancy, which is, well, sounds like an amazing shop that I've not had time to visit just yet, in Meanwood. She is an independent gift shop and she supports local artists and local makers. And she comes to tell me all about it and how she's coping with it all during lockdown. Have a listen. Welcome to another Corona Bloody Virus Extraordinary episode of the Light on Leeds podcast, where today I have Tasha Grant from Flavour Like Fancy. Hello, Tasha.
Hiya.
Nice to see you. I'm okay, a little bit rained in.
I know. Oh.
Missing the sun.
Me too.
So Tasha, let's hope that it comes back, that sun. Geraldine from Loon mentioned you and Flavour Like Fancy, and I'm pretty sure some previous guests have also mentioned you. So can you just explain for us, what is Flavour Like Fancy?
Sure. So Flavour Like Fancy is an independent gift shop which I opened in July of 2019. So we're based in Meanwood and we support local makers, but we also stock a lot of different items, anything from like ceramics to jewellery to prints. I suppose the main focus is finding items that are quite unique and colourful, as I kind of wanted to create quite a vibrant, colourful aesthetic, because that was something I thought that was missing in kind of the shop-based independent scene, as it were.
And how did you get started with it all? Are you from Leeds? Did you study in Leeds?
No, so I'm actually from London. I moved up to Leeds in 2016 and I make jewellery under the name of Loon Moon, and it was kind of through going to craft fairs, markets and things that I started to meet a lot of makers, and I found that the energy and the kind of vibrancy that I was seeing at these fairs that got me really excited about things that were being created wasn't quite being transferred into shops as much as I would have liked. So I come from an account management background, something that I've been doing since I was for like about 6 years prior, and which is something that I continued doing as my sort of main job while I was in Leeds. And then I kind of just decided that I'd had enough. I just wanted to do something that was more creative and focused on, this thing that I was doing, where I was coming home and like immediately jumping into making jewellery and, kind of going to sort of night fairs and things. And I just decided, you know what, I think it's time to have a bit of a career change. And if it doesn't work, we go back. I don't know. So that's how kind of the cogs for Flavour Like Fancy started to be developed, really. And it was kind of like a weird whirlwind from, I think it was like back in February 2019, where I was like, I need to do this. I really, really need to do this. And by that point, I'd spoken to a few people. They kind of had a similar viewpoint to me. About there not being that same kind of, all those same makers being in the shop. So I kind of just started researching and speaking to people. So in addition to doing these markets, it was also got to a point where I was like, so what do you think about this? I'm thinking about opening a shop. What do you think? And I was quite surprised the amount of people that not only agreed, but definitely saw it as something they wanted to be part of. And because
I suppose from a maker's perspective, it's nice to have a place where, like you say, you've got these, your markets and craft markets and things like that, but to have a space where your things are always on display must be very useful.
Yeah, definitely. And just somewhere that like local people know that they can come back and, find that thing. Because often at fairs, we all kind of do it, I guess, where you see something and, you get so overwhelmed by wanting everything in the space and you leave and you think, oh, I wish I just got that thing. So just to have that space where you can go back and it's going to be there is just...
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. And when did you start making jewellery yourself?
I started in 2015. So I make jewellery using polymer clay mostly, and it's quite, I guess, unique, quite fun things. I've kind of found that I have a bit of an obsession with food, as most of the subject matter surrounds around anything from fried egg earrings to There's so many things. There's a lot of eggs, actually. In fact, sort of latest batch of things, lots and lots of eggs, avocados, and just like KitchenAid necklaces, and yeah, I don't know. It's just like quite a nice, fun thing for me to do, and I find it really therapeutic. Like if I'd had quite a stressful day, which is how it kind of started really at my job, and I'd come home and I'd just be able to, crack out like some like little cake studs or something. It just made me really happy, I guess. And then I started to realise that more people, were quite interested in what I was doing and also wanted to buy them. And I thought, okay, let's see how this goes.
Oh, so was it quite a scary thing setting up a business? I mean, turning your hobby into a business can be quite a big move, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was really hard, but at that point I decided that I definitely wanted a career change. So it was kind of like I either stay doing something that, I've done for so long, but my heart's just not in it anymore, or I try something different and it does reflect, my interests. So it was kind of like a weird mix between being ridiculously excited about the prospect of change versus doing something that helps the creative community and just allows me to do something fun for a change. So yeah, mixed bag of emotions, but definitely the thing that pushed me on to do it was just the feeling that it could work.
Yeah, and I mean, before all of the big lockdown mess that we're in, was everything going great? Were you still enjoying working in the shop and meeting new people?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like, I absolutely love it. It's, from the day that I opened, I mean, there's been a lot to learn. Like, I'd done many, 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 many retail jobs previously. So, I was no stranger to the environment. But in terms of working somewhere and having your own business, that was very, very, I guess it was quite an interesting, like, progress for me, like in terms of like I don't know, just kind of learning, and it's still something that I am actively learning about as I kind of go along, and that's really fun. But when you're passionate about something, it makes it a lot easier. So I don't know, it's just great. It's just a really it's the best move that I've made in my life, definitely.
Oh, brilliant! So you don't look back from that big jump and sort of have any regrets. You think you did exactly the right thing?
Absolutely not. Like no, I mean, there's been definite struggles along the way, and there's been a lot to learn, like in terms of financials and managing things, and just kind of exploring what works and what doesn't work in the shop, because it's kind of like an internal battle between, me keeping the aesthetic that I really wanted and then also responding to what customers like and what sales data is saying. So that's been quite interesting. But it's been really nice at the same time to kind of learn who your customers are and kind of work it from there. And the good thing is that we're in tune, it seems.
Yeah. Why did you choose Meanwood particularly? Is that near where you live, or were there other reasons?
Yeah, so I moved to Meanwood in 2018. Yeah, 2018. And it's an area that's just full of independents. And everyone is like really, really nice and really supportive. It just has a really lovely community feel. I've attended workshops in various spaces, and I kind of really felt like this sort of creative energy from the area. And also, it would mean that I could work 2 minutes away from my house. So I kind of came upon a space after a conversation with another business owner when I was kind of like flexing the idea. And it was mentioned that this space might be available, and I sort of jumped on it, really, because it wasn't actually being advertised at the time. And I just can't, it just all happened so quickly. It was sort of like, yep, yeah, you can have it. Oh, okay. Wow, this is really happening. Like in the space of between, so February 2019 until I think I signed in May, it was just a total whirlwind.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It all became real very quickly.
Very, very quickly, yeah.
Do you think as well that, I know you were saying the thing about it's nice for customers to come back and know that products are there. Do you think there's something to be said as well about, I mean, obviously there's a lot of websites where you can go and buy people's amazing crafts. Do you think there's something about being able to go into a shop and actually see the thing in real life and sort of feel it and touch it and hold it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is one thing, like, for me about lockdown, actually. Like, I realise I'm quite a physical person. Like, I like to be able to be in a space. I mean, when I was thinking of the idea, you know, friends and family said to me, well, why don't you do this online? And I just think there is something so personable in being able to go into a shop and, you know, kind of have a conversation with somebody about the product, especially because, you know, the items that I source are from local makers. So just being able to have that background, that information on kind of, you know, who the maker is, you know, the fact that they live in the sort of in the local area, and
Yeah.
you know, kind of that insight that you don't actually get when you shop online. I think it's just priceless.
Yeah, I agree. And do you think that, do you find makers, or do makers come to you with their work? How does it happen?
It's a mixture, actually. So in the beginning, it was very much me kind of going out there and thinking about the people that I had bought from and that I think would really work for what I was trying to create. And then I guess through word of mouth and makers speaking to other people and such, I just got like loads and loads of people coming to me. And that's something like now that I'm still fortunate to be getting. So a lot of people that I find have mainly been through, or find me, have mostly been through social, to be honest. Like Instagram is kind of, I would say, probably makes up for 80% of how I do find makers.
Really? 80%?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see lots of stuff on Instagram, don't you? Lots of great things.
It. It's so visual. So, you know, you see something, you know, you follow certain tags, you know, you find a maker that you like and, you know, who are they following and what are they liking and things. So, I don't know, it's just really responsive and it's really easy to sort of use and navigate in terms of finding what you want, especially if I'm looking for a new product type to introduce. Instagram, to be honest, would be my first kind of portal.
Yeah, I suppose I could see that, yeah. And like you say, you can follow tags and things like that. And if you're into somebody, you can follow them. And I suppose as well with Instagram, it's quite good because you get suggestions. If you like a certain kind of thing, it'll sort of lead you towards other people similar.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So when sort of the big lockdown happened and you had to close your lovely shop, that must have been really difficult for you. How did you feel and how did you cope with all of that?
I was pretty stressed. I'm not gonna lie. I think it wasn't so much about what was happening at the time for me, like in terms of having to close, because I was, you know, that was something that I had accepted and I knew that it needed to happen for the safety of the public. But it was more just worrying about the future. And, you know, even now it's something that it still plays on my mind. It's like, okay, what is it going to be like? What is buying behaviour going to be like? You know, are people going to still want to come to shops? You know, and I think it's just the fear. So over the last like three months or so, I've really had to kind of, you know, unteach myself, you know, just kind of worrying what will be and just kind of focus on the now.
It's really difficult, isn't it? It's definitely one of the things that I found most difficult about lockdown is the not knowing.
Yeah.
Like I felt like my constant refrain this year is we'll just have to wait and see, because, you know, like that's in terms of my job, in terms of seeing family. Yeah, it's that I think that can be one of the most difficult things, especially for the kind of person who likes to sort of plan ahead.
Yeah.
So, have you still been sort of promoting your business and things whilst you've not been able to actively be there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have a website, an e-commerce website, so people can buy things from the shop. on.
Right.
I've still been sort of contacting makers and creating blogs and things because I thought it would be a good opportunity to share more about the people that stock within the shop and just share nice and positive things that people are doing whilst being in lockdown. And that's something that's really kept me going, just seeing people being able to expand, their kind of, I don't know, their mediums really. Like, I've seen a lot of people doing like lino printing and risographs and just knitting and embroidery and things that otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that. And just kind of, for myself as well, I've been able to sort of use the time, sort of all this newfound time to like not have to worry so much about, I guess, just the shop and kind of explore more about myself. And, that's kind of thrown me into baking, which otherwise I used to totally suck at. And now it's not so bad.
You're getting better.
Do something edible, so that's cool.
Oh, lovely. So, in the lockdown period, you've managed to sort of keep yourself quite creative?
Yeah, definitely. I've made some new bits and pieces for Loon Moon. I've just been able to kind of think about the direction that I wanted to take for the shop, which has been great because sometimes when you're really in something, I find it quite hard to be able to plan in such a way. So just being able to take a step back and have the sort of space to think about stuff has been really good for knowing what I want to do.
Yeah, because I think you can sometimes just feel like you're just fighting fire, can't you, in sort of day-to-day normal life. So it's nice to be able to have a little bit of time to stand back and take stock.
Exactly.
So when we're thinking about you opening up your shop again, which I'm not sure when this episode goes out, but basically it's going to be, what would you say, the third week in June?
Yeah, so it should be the week of the 15th. So I should be open from the Wednesday of that week. So what's that? The 18th. Yeah, so I'm so excited.
I bet you can't wait. And how difficult has it been? I mean, do you get much guidance from the government and things about, or does it come from the council about how you need to sort of operate in a different way?
To be honest, I mean, I found the kind of instruction quite, wishy-washy. Mm-hmm. Really, it's not particularly clear.
Well, that's tended to be the theme throughout the whole thing, hasn't it? Really.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I think it's been quite good for me to speak to other people within the area and just other gift shops locally. I've been in contact with and found out what they're doing and how they're structuring, kind of the rules around their business and things. So that's definitely been beneficial. But I think that's kind of been it. It's just sort of like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah. And so have you had to make a lot of changes?
Not too many so far. I mean, I think I'll definitely introduce like a one-way system. I mean, the space isn't huge. I think it's only 250 square foot. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, introducing a one-way system and then just kind of, having a maximum of 2 people in the shop at a time kind of thing. And because it's a relatively small space, I think it should be quite easy to manage. Yeah,
it should be, shouldn't it?
I'm not too worried about that side of things.
But it'll feel lovely for you opening the door again and sort of opening the door to the public and actually getting to see people.
Honestly, can't wait. Like occasionally I pop into the shop to, manage orders and things. So I try to do that like a couple times a week anyway. And because there's so much more people, who would have otherwise been at work, there's a lot of people sort of coming to the window or just sort of asking me through the glass, like, what is this? What do you do?
Oh.
So that's been really nice.
Oh, excellent. So even though you're not originally from Leeds, you've been living here long enough, I think, to answer these questions.
Yeah.
So the first one I'll ask you is, what do you think is great about the city of Leeds?
Oh, just the abundance of makers. I mean, I know a lot of people do see London as a kind of, creative epicenter, but it's really disjointed, I find, in terms of creativity, and there's not a great sense of community because it's so big.
Right.
In Leeds, from time that I came here, you know, I was able to easily navigate my way around creative groups. There's so many different things that are going on that you know, covers a variety of tastes. And I feel like I've done more since I've been here in terms of exploring, you know, workshops and, you know, kind of getting to know different mediums and meeting and getting involved in community groups. And in London, I just didn't really as much. So yeah, definitely.
That's a nice great, yeah. And what would you say is something that you would think is not so great about the city?
The transport.
Comes up quite a lot.
So being from London, I don't drive. I mean, this is something that I'm actively working on / was actively working on before lockdown, because I've sort of realised, like, 3, almost 4 years in, like, need a car. So, yeah, I've had to rely on public transport quite a lot. And luckily for the shop, with it being 2 minutes away, I haven't had to worry about it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
When I do, it's painful.
Yes, I completely agree with you there. And if somebody had been a long-term resident of Leeds, would you be able to tell them about something that you would consider to be a hidden gem that they might never have heard of?
Oh my God. So being in Meanwood, there's the Meanwood Valley Trail, and I guess a lot of people locally will, of course, they'll know that it exists, but it's just an amazing spot. I mean, it's so as a walk, it's so it can take you into Ilkley, if you so wish to travel that far. But it's just so nice. It's like a mixture of kind of open spaces, like really open spaces, and then just like there's beautiful houses and things. And you know, kind of like it's very idyllic in the sense that, you know, wild garlic and elderflower grow, and I don't know. And there's also like farmyard animals as well in certain bits. So I've definitely been utilising on sunnier days, like walking around there more during lockdown.
Yeah, I've done a small part of it. Yeah, it is beautiful. And also I think what's nice about it is, like you say, it goes through so many different sort of environments, really, doesn't it? Yeah, really nice to go on that one. Maybe not today, though, on such a rainy day.
Not today, unless you're brave and have wellies and things, but yeah.
Thank you so much for coming along and speaking to me today, Tasha. I really hope that everything goes amazingly well for Flavour Like Fancy. I'll be putting links to all your social media and where you are, so that people can come along and have a look and hopefully buy some of these amazing pieces of art that people have been making.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
I will do. You too.
I really enjoyed talking to Tasha Grant from Flavour Like Fancy. I know that she set up yesterday, which was Thursday the 18th of June. She managed to get reopened. So I'm sending her all the best of luck. And when I feel safe enough to travel, I'll definitely get there and have a look. The song this week was sent to me by Carmen McClean, and it's called Slow Down. It's a really beautiful tune, and it really seems to resonate with everything that's going on at the minute. Stay safe, everybody. Keep your hands clean. Wear your face mask. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Slow down. Right now I gotta hold on to the waves, not drown. We'll sing about this when we're 86, but for now you gotta slow down. Just pause and breathe, gonna notice all the things you see. And maybe one day when things aren't still this way, we will breathe and just slow down. Wishing away the days you have made, and all you can think is this. We've been living like this in the modern abyss. So for now, you gotta slow down.